Welcome back to Apex Sci-Fi. The Vorashan Empire didn't believe in waste. To them, everything had a place and the planet Junk 7 was the galaxy's dumpster. For 5 centuries they had dumped their broken hulls, their spent reactors, and their obsolete war drones onto the surface of this gray metallic world. They assumed that the scum living there, thousands of stranded human survivors and laborers, were just vermin eating the scraps of a superior civilization. They are nothing but rats in a maze of rust, High Inquisitor Kale remarked, looking down from his ivory-colored dreadnought. Cleanse the sector. We need the space for a new orbital shipyard. Burn the scrap and the rats with it. Kale didn't realize that for a human, a pile of trash is just a Lego set with teeth. The Vorashan purge fleet descended, firing their elegant energy beams to melt the mountains of junk. They expected no resistance. They expected the humans to run. Instead, the mountains started moving. Jax Scrap Malone, a man whose skin was tattooed with grease and scars, pulled the lever in the heart of the Iron Grave, a fortress built from 3 crashed cruisers welded together. They're here for the spring cleaning, boys? Jax roared over the base-wide speakers. Show 'em what we did with their old engines. The Vorashan's lead frigate hovered over a pile of rusted containers. Suddenly the pile exploded outward. A massive, improvised harpoon launcher, powered by a repurposed hyperdrive core, fired a 4-ton serrated metal bolt. The bolt, trailing a thick carbon fiber cable, punched straight through the frigate's elegant hull. "We got a bite," Jax yelled. He engaged the winch. The engine of an ancient freighter roared to life, its gears screaming as it pulled the elite Imperial ship down into the junk. The frigate's thrusters fought against the pull, but the human machinery was dumb strong. It didn't have safety limiters. It just pulled until the metal groaned and the frigate slammed into the ground, exploding in a fireball of blue plasma. The sky turned into a nightmare of fire and metal. The humans didn't have sleek fighters. They had bolt hoppers, mining pods with heavy plates of scrap metal welded to the front and loaded with canisters of volatile fuel. They didn't fire lasers. They flew directly into the Imperial shields, detonating their cargo in suicide runs that bypassed the high-tech defenses through raw, uncalculated mass. Target their thrusters, Jax commanded, piloting his personal war rig. A massive walker built from the legs of a construction mech and the cockpit of a fighter jet. Jax stomped through the junk, his dual-linked autocannons, salvaged from an old orbital defense platform, spitting shells the size of beer cans. He wasn't aiming for the ship's weak points, he was aiming to knock them out of the sky. The Vorashan High Guard, in their white and gold power armor, landed in the plaza of the fortress. They moved with martial perfection, firing their pulse rifles with surgical accuracy. They hit the humans, but the humans were wearing armor made of industrial-grade plating. The pulses just bounced off. "Get him!" a woman named Oil Can Tess yelled, swinging a massive electrified pipe wrench. The fight in the plaza was a brawl of iron versus silk. The Vorashan were soldiers. The humans were engineers with a grudge. They used high-pressure steam pipes to blind the invaders and magnetic cranes to pick them up and hurl them into the recycling grinders. High Inquisitor Kale watched in horror as his invincible legion was dismantled by people using their own discarded technology against them. It is impossible. They are using primitive levers. They are using steam. How are they winning? Because we know how your stuff works better than you do. Jax's voice broke through the Imperial comms. He had hacked their frequency using a 200-year-old radio transmitter. You throw things away when they break. We learn how to make them scream. The climax came when Jax aimed the Great Gun, a massive rail cannon built from the entire spine of an old battleship, anchored into the planet's bedrock. Fire the big one. The Great Gun let out a roar that shook the entire planet. A 500-pound slab of solid iron, accelerated by 10 fusion reactors, screamed through the atmosphere. It hit Kale's dreadnought in the center mass. The Imperial ship didn't just explode, it shattered. The ivory hull cracked like a porcelain plate, and the sanctified flagship plummeted into the sea of rust. The remaining Imperial fleet fled, leaving behind thousands of wrecks. The humans didn't celebrate with a parade. They celebrated by dragging the new wrecks into the fortress. "Look at that," Tess said, looking at the glowing remains of Kale's dreadnought. "That's a lot of good copper." The Vorashan Empire never returned to Junk 7. They officially labeled it a forbidden zone of mechanical demons. They realized that if you give a human your trash, they won't just survive on it, they'll build a hammer big enough to hit you back with it. Humanity had proven the ultimate resourceful HFY truth. You can't beat the people who have nothing to lose and the tools to fix anything. We aren't scavengers. We're the ones who wait in the dark for you to throw away your crown, so we can melt it down and make a bullet out of it. This has been Apex Sci-Fi. One man's trash is a human's fortress. If you enjoyed this scrap metal victory, hit that like button. Comment below, what would you build first if you were stranded on a junk planet? Subscribe for the next front, the First Contact War. The forge is hot. The iron is ours.